What's up, guys? It's Ace here. Today brings the card of the day, and today we have Feed the Swarm. 1 in a black sorcery with destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to the permanent's converted mana cost. I think this card is pretty good. I think if you're playing definitely a more black-centric deck, or maybe a 2-color with non-white or non-green black deck, this is probably going to be added. Like, you never are super worried about adding too much removal, especially with the presence of Opposition Agent and Hull Breacher, things like that. This card will most of the time never be dead because one thing is the colors that play a lot of enchantments, such as blue or white or even green. I think for the most part those are the colors. Even black, right? Those colors are playing a lot of enchantments. They're playing things like Rest in Peace. They're playing things like oh crap, the Great Henge isn't actually an enchantment, but they're playing things like Sylvan Library, Rhystic Remora, Rhystic Study. This thing will hit a lot of super strong staples in this format. For that reason alone, it's strong. Also, don't forget to mention that this thing destroys creatures, and obviously people are playing a bunch of creatures. Not only are their commanders creatures, but they're playing creatures in their deck. So this thing is mostly never dead. And I think the life that you pay equal to the CMC is just the cost you get for playing black and the amount of removal black has and the potency of the removal. And for that reason, I think this card is generally pretty good. If you're playing the higher your power your meta, the better this card is, because generally people are playing low CMC stuff, right? So you're not gonna hurt your ad nauseum too much. Maybe you'll blow up something like a Rhystic Study, which is threes. I mean, it's worth it, right? Life is a resource. It just takes one of those resources instead of using additional mana for the CMC cost of this card. And I think this card is really good for that reason. I think if you play black, you play this, and for good reason, right? Because if you're playing things like a black Randomary deck, and black loves their graveyard, and those pesky white and green players, they've got a bunch of Scavenging Oozes, they've got those Rest in Pieces, they got all these nasty enchantments that want to do things to your graveyard, and what other better thing can you do than destroy those nasty enchantments / creatures? Is this right here? Feed the Swarm. It's what you need, especially if you're playing Anya. I've known many games where the Anya player literally could play anything because I mean the white player or the green player was just literally stopping people from playing out their graveyards. The only thing that doesn't hit, unfortunately, is artifacts, which is just one of Black's weaknesses. It just can't hit artifacts, so that you should live with that. But I think this is generally fine. Most situations, I think this is good. Even in high power CDH metas is good. And for that reason, I'll give it a scale. I'll say it's worth playing in I think all power levels. So Battlecruiser, low power, all the way up until CEDH. I could be wrong, but I think it's still good, especially those only mono black decks Kirk or even Yawgmoth. This is generally pretty fine in there. It's never going to be too much of a dead draw, right? So anyways, that's my review. What do you guys think about this card? Tell me in the comments down below. I think this card is pretty nasty, pretty dope. I would play it in my black deck if I had a black deck, but yeah. Peace out and have a nice one.